What's up viewers, Patrick here at Spartansuppz.com with a supplement review on the all new Max's Shred System. This is to replace the Super Shred from Max's, popular thermogenic style protein. We're going to go over the breakdown of the macronutrients, definitely, since it is a protein powder. We're going to go over the ingredients, we'll go over dosing, we'll go over effects to a degree. We'll cover value for money, absolutely, and all of the nitty details, everything you know that we always cover in every supplement review. So let's not mess about and jump straight into it. On screen now, you're going to see nutritional information panel for Max's Shred System. So we're going to be analysing, it comes in one size right here, 5 pound size. Each one of these has 75 serves and a serve is 30 grams. That 30 grams is going to get you 22.6 grams of protein, 3 grams of carbohydrates, and 0.7 grams of fat. So quite high in protein, 75% protein, and quite low in carbohydrates and fat. This uses the Max's anabolic protein blend, which is made up of whey peptides, very fast digesting, very low carb, very low fat, rapidly assimilated, really the fastest digesting whey protein you can get. Whey protein isolate, again, super high protein, very low in carb, fat, and lactose, very lean and mean. It's a bit over 90% protein by weight, so it's extremely high quality protein. And when it comes to whey protein, whey isolate is really seen as like, if you had to pick one, it's the best one. Next up, there's some whey protein concentrate. Not quite as high in protein, more like 75-80% in protein, but a little higher in carbs and a little higher in fat, but it also gives you the benefits of dairy. There is a lot of immunoglobulins in here, which are excellent for digestive health, and they're also good for improving your general health and well-being. When you beat up your muscles, you also beat up your immune system. So getting in a little bit of a higher quality source of dairy like that is certainly not a bad thing, and I think it's well worth making the space in your macros for a little whey concentrate. And the last source is the micellar casein. So much lower digesting protein source, can take up to 6 to 8 hours to be digested. It is the 4th ingredient, so it's the least abundant source of protein in there, but it's nice that it's going to have a little bit in there, so it's going to help to keep supply for a much longer period of time. Now, this is where there is a lot of ingredients in the fat incinerating matrix. I'm going to reel them off and we're going to cover them in bulk. So, CLA, conjugated linolenic acid, to make a 6 fatty acid. We've got some green tea extract, raspberry ketones, African wild mango, some guarana, a source of caffeine as well, some acetyl L-carnitine, and then actual caffeine. So we've got some fat burning properties in there. The problem with this is we don't know what the doses are, so it is very hard to analyze if they're any good. Most of those ingredients are actually quite good. The acetyl L-carnitine, I think, honestly, we keep things real. I think the acetyl L-carnitine is a complete waste of space because acetyl L-carnitine, to work effectively, really has to be taken fasted. So if you're putting it into a macronutrient of any description, like a protein with carbs and fat in it, it really is to find the purpose, and there's going to be a very minuscule amount. The point to note in this as well is that Max's Shred System does have a little bit of caffeine. It has 50 milligrams per serve. Not a huge amount, but just one thing to note when you are factoring in the times of day that you're taking it, and factor in your overall caffeine intake for the day. Next up in this blend is a carb blocking complex. So you've got some Garcia Cambogia or hydroxycitric acid. We've got some green coffee extract, and then there's some vitamins, some minerals, and some nitrogen retention. Carb blocking, this is I wouldn't say not a gripe, this is a personal sort of like, personally I think the only thing that blocks carbs is something you put over your mouth. So in terms of the carbohydrate blocking, really realistically, those ingredients do help with stabilizing blood glucose levels and so on, and maintaining a sort of a better insulin levels and a better insulin response throughout the day. That is a good thing. In terms of blocking carbohydrates, not really. Like, if you eat carbohydrates, your body will utilize them as carbohydrates. Any sort of caloric excess will indeed be stored eventually. So whether it comes from protein, carbs, fat, or whatever, or clean or dirty, excess calories means you're going to gain weight, gain body fat eventually. So the prerequisite for losing body fat is a caloric deficit. If you were to be at a caloric maintenance and add in a few scoops of Max's Shred System, you'll most likely gain weight. It's not that thermogenic. So as a lean protein, good. The protein blend is very good. It's going to keep you sustained for a longer period of time. It's got some good sort of like fat loss support ingredients, but I'm going to keep it real. You know we keep it real at Spartansuppz. Fat burning proteins. Every protein powder is burnt, or all protein sources are thermogenic by nature, but in terms of their thermogenic effect, as in the extra fat burning ingredients, I would say it's marginal. Especially not knowing the amount, it's very hard to analyze. But we'll definitely analyze this as a lean protein powder. So Max's were kind enough to send us some little shake and takes. We get a little pull on that one there. Very cool. Great graphics too. Big fan of the graphics on the labels and the updates. This comes in 3 flavors. It comes in the choc brownie, the vanilla, and the choc honeycomb. I'm itching to try choc honeycomb, but today I've got the chocolate brownie. I mean, we can get a little focus on this thing here. Let me see. I've got this covered. Look at that graphic. Damn, that looks fine. So I'm gonna mix it up. I'm gonna fill it to the fill line as directed, and see how this tastes. So I've got about 300 mils or about 10-11 ounces of water in here. I'll throw this lid back on here, and then we're going to shake this thing up and see how it mixes. A few shakes, and you can see there, if we get a little focus, I'll get my head out of the way. There is no clumps, no lumps. It's mixed actually quite well. I'm going to pour this into the very fancy plastic cup and see how this mixes. It's good, really good. It's mixed well, mixed very well. It's got a nice cakey brownie taste. The flavor's pretty good, not too bad at all. Yeah, that's not bad. It's not quite as brownie, chocolate cakey as some of the other lean proteins in the Max's range, like the 100% Whey, but the flavor is actually still pretty good. So simple. That's what's in it. That's how it works. In terms of as a lean protein, I do think this is a good product as a lean protein you can use as a protein replacement throughout the day. I personally wouldn't recommend using it of an evening because of the caffeine content. It is only 50 milligrams, which is not a lot, but if you're going to take caffeine, you want to take it for a performance benefit, not really just for a fat burning benefit. You would take it pre-exercise, or as an energy support product, not necessarily with your protein powder. So throughout the day, yes, of an evening, probably best to avoid. The protein content, very high, low carb, it's low fat, it's going to keep you sustained for a longer period of time. I like that there's some slower digesting protein sources in here. I think that's a great addition to keep hunger at bay and to stop you feeling so hungry throughout the day. If you use WPI as a meal replacement, you're going to be hungry in 20 minutes. So the slower digesting protein sources is definitely a great option in here. In terms of bang for your buck, value for money, it's $129.95. It has 75 serves, which makes it $1.73 per serve. So as a lean protein, the value is okay. In terms of if you wanted the absolute best fat burner and the best protein, to be honest, I would recommend buying them separately. If you get them separately, you get the best of both worlds. I would look at the fat burning ingredients more as fat loss support ingredients and things to help stabilize blood glucose levels, promote fat loss and keeping a strong metabolic rate, but not necessarily. I wouldn't get into the carb blocking too much. I think it's more stabilizing blood glucose levels so you don't feel as hungry, which in the grand scheme of losing body fat is definitely a advantage to stop you eating so much. So that wraps it up. Max's Shred System Review done. It's available now at Spartansuppz.com. 3 flavors. Try the choc honeycomb. Flavors are all good. Mix is good. And it's a great Australian brand. So that's it. Done and dusted. If you like this video review, please make sure to drop a like down below, leave a comment with your feedback, and remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel to stay up to date with all the latest content. Thank you again for watching. I'm Patrick from Spartansuppz.com, and I'm out.